A company can get more output from the same role and still narrow the salary range attached to it. AI may raise what the average employee can produce, yet the financial distance between adjacent workers can shrink. The employee becomes more productive, but does not necessarily capture that gain through a wider wage premium. Wage compression begins with the pay band. A role usually has a floor, a midpoint, and an upper range, shaped by hiring conditions, internal equity, tenure, promotion policy, and outside labor markets. When AI changes the output associated with different levels of the role, those reference points do not have to move together. The first distinction is crucial. Compression does not require falling wages. The bottom can rise while the top barely moves. The middle can stall while entry pay catches up. Or the ceiling can flatten while the entire band shifts upward. In every case, the spread narrows even though average compensation may still increase. A firm that raises entry pay faster than senior pay creates a different outcome from one that holds the ceiling steady. Both can report higher average wages. Only the internal distribution reveals whose position inside the band improved. Wage growth and wage differentiation are separate variables. Suppose new employees enter closer to the previous midpoint because AI allows them to become economically useful sooner. Incumbents may still receive raises, but the premium attached to being one level higher becomes smaller. The lower part of the band moves upward while the financial return to progression narrows. Compression can also come from above. If firms stop expanding upper salary ranges as quickly as before, senior employees can continue earning more while the additional pay attached to tenure or progression grows more slowly. No salary needs to fall for the ceiling to become less valuable. The result is a wage ladder whose rungs are closer together. Internal compensation systems are built around relative distance, promotion bands, merit increases, job levels, market adjustments, and retention offers assume that a meaningful financial gap exists between one position and the next. When those gaps narrow, the economics of progression changes before the organizational chart does. A promotion can carry more responsibility without producing the same financial jump it once did. Tenure can continue to matter while each additional year buys less distance from newly hired employees. A worker can move upward in nominal pay while the economic value of moving one level higher declines. US employers face a particular pressure because external hiring markets can adjust faster than internal compensation systems. New hire offers can rise while incumbent pay remains tied to annual review cycles and established ranges. Compression then develops from below without a deliberate decision to flatten the structure. The reverse can occur in a weaker hiring market. Entry pay may hold steady while upper ranges stop expanding. The band narrows from above. These forms can look similar in aggregate wage statistics, while creating different incentives inside the firm. A rising median can coexist with weaker promotion premiums. A stable mean can conceal stronger entry pay and a flatter ceiling. A growing payroll can coexist with less financial separation between job levels. What matters is not simply what the firm pays, but how that pay is distributed across the ladder. Bargaining power enters through the employer's willingness to pay above the midpoint. An employee seeking a larger raise is effectively arguing that retaining them is worth more than the added compensation. The employer compares that claim with the cost of replacing the role, absorbing disruption, hiring externally, or reorganizing the work. AI can change that calculation without erasing the value of experience. If the economic disruption caused by replacement becomes smaller, the upper part of the wage band becomes harder to defend. The question is not whether the employee is productive. It is whether paying materially above the midpoint produces enough additional economic value to justify the premium. Internal equity adds another constraint. Raising entry pay can create pressure on the levels immediately above it. Increasing one promotion premium can force changes elsewhere. Compensation decisions can propagate through the band even when only one part of the labor market moves first. Outside offers can reset the structure. If incumbents receive credible offers above internal ranges, firms may restore separation through retention increases or broader band adjustments. If those offers disappear, the pressure weakens. Compression is an ongoing interaction between external market prices and internal compensation architecture. A deeper distinction appears once wage level is separated from labor share. Employees can receive higher nominal compensation while payroll grows more slowly than the economic output supported by the role. Workers are then better paid in absolute terms but capture a smaller proportion of the incremental value produced. Compression describes the shape of compensation inside the labor structure. The broader surplus may ultimately be retained elsewhere, but the narrower question is how much of the gain is used to widen, preserve, or narrow the financial distance between workers. This changes the expected return to career progression. If moving from one level to the next produces a smaller compensation increase, workers may place less value on additional responsibility, firm-specific tenure, or advancement that does not materially change pay. Employers must decide which transitions still require a meaningful premium to remain attractive. The final distribution question is narrower than whether AI raises or lowers wages. Which part of the band moves? Does compression come from a rising floor, a slowing midpoint, or a flatter ceiling? How quickly does compensation move relative to the output associated with each level? Wage compression is the repricing of distance inside the labor market. AI can raise the productive value of a role while changing how much firms are willing to pay for movement within that role. The economic effect is not simply higher or lower wages. It is a redistribution of compensation across the ladder, determined by which pay differences firms still have reason to preserve.